What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Living Freed channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and I wanted to make a video today talking about how to not be a poor trucker, how to actually become a very rich, wealthy truck driver. I'm going to be talking about that in this video. So if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you for being here. If you're somebody that's not new and you're already subscribed, I appreciate you for being here as well. Make sure you stay tuned till the very end, because look, if you're a new truck driver or you're somebody looking at trucking as a long-term career path or a potential long-term career path, this is the video for you. Or if you're somebody that's new or you're not new, really altogether for anybody that's in trucking or looking at getting into trucking, this is a great video for you, because really what I'm going to be talking about will apply to anybody's situation. Anybody can do what I'm talking about. Anybody can change their mindset that they have now about life and about money, and whether or not financial freedom is actually possible for them. I'm going to be alluding or talking about that in this video. And again, this could really apply to all Americans too, what I'm about to talk about. Really, I'm going to talk about the difference between a poor person's mindset and a rich person's mindset, but in the context of a truck driver, a person looking at making trucking a long-term career and how to use it to build generational wealth. That's going to be the point of this video. So again, I hope you stay tuned till the end, and yeah, I would really appreciate it. So what is the difference, in my opinion, really between a poor person and a rich person's mindset? Well, a poor person's mindset, or a poor truck driver's mindset, is they're just looking at this as a job. They're just looking at this as, hey, I'm just going to get into trucking and make a good, consistent paycheck, and I'm not going to use my money to do anything. I'm not going to use my money to pay off my debt. I'm not going to use my money to invest in stocks, real estate, starting a business, nothing. I have no plan. I'm just getting in. I just want to make good enough money to pay my bills and have fun. That's a poor person's mindset. Also, what is a poor person's mindset, or a poor truck driver's mindset? They believe the industry is rigged against them. They believe that the industry, there's too many regulations. They believe trucking sucks. It's not as good as it used to be. They believe, they're just super negative when it comes to the opportunities that there are in the trucking industry. That is a poor person's mindset, really. And not just trucking, but there's a lot of that in the trucking business, where people believe that, you know, there's really just no opportunity to make great money in trucking. They believe that. And, you know, when you have that mindset, that means you have a scarcity mindset. See, you have to, in order to build wealth, you have to adopt the abundance mindset. You have to look at things differently than 90% of the people that are out there, not just in trucking, but like I said, in general. You have to have an abundance mindset. And, you know, like I do, I look at trucking and I don't see it as there's no opportunity. I see it as, hey, this is a $1 trillion industry, and how can I own a piece of that market? How can I have a little piece of that $1 trillion industry? But see, most people don't see that. They just see it as a job and a way to make a paycheck. And that is going to be 90% of people watching this, 90% of people that you know that are in the business, that's what they're going to do. Most people are not getting into this with a plan for their career and a plan for their money, and they don't see the opportunity. They're just super negative about trucking. That's really it. And that's just most people. Most people are pessimistic about life and about the economy and about the opportunities that are out there. Successful people, wealthy people, they see the other side of that coin. They see the opportunity. They understand. And look, like, I understand, and wealthy people understand that, hey, in every industry, there are challenges. In every single industry. Every industry is hard. Every industry is competitive, but if you are smart and you are willing to do the work and you're willing to study that industry, you can find certain niches within that industry and actually excel beyond what the average person makes in that job or in that industry, right? You can do that. In trucking, especially in trucking, I always talk about it on my channel. You have to come in with a plan, right? This is what wealthy people do, or people that aspire to be wealthy, and they're going to get there. Maybe, and wealth really, in my opinion, isn't just about the dollar amount that you're worth. It's about your mindset too, because without the right mindset, you will never build wealth. You'll never have a lot of money. You'll never own a lot of assets. You'll never have that. You'll never start a business. You'll never grow a business. You'll never have real success if you don't have an abundance mindset and you aren't thinking positively about what you're doing. Look, you know, trucking is tough. Trucking's a tough business. Yes, it is. It's a very tough business. It is very competitive. There are a lot of regulations. There's a lot of BS that comes along with the job. I don't not acknowledge that, but I also know that if you have the right plan and strategy and work ethic, there is a lot of money to be made. There's actually no limit to the amount of money you can make. It's a $1 trillion industry. Did I fail to mention that? It's a $1 trillion industry, and there's money out there. How do you get to the money? How do you think differently? I'm talking about mindset first, and then I'm going to talk about the strategy that I talk about a lot on my videos, but I'm going to talk about the strategy after the mindset. The mindset is change the way you look at this business. The truth is look at how many mega carriers there are. Look at how many mid-sized carriers there are. Small carrier. If there was no money in this business, you wouldn't see all these trucking companies. You wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see all these people wanting to get into truck driving, because there's a lot of great trucking jobs out there. There is. Like I said, this all applies. Everything I'm going to talk about, you don't have to own a business in trucking to make a lot of money. You don't. I'm going to get into that. But there's opportunity in so many different areas. Think of how big the trucking industry is, right? Think of how many different sectors of the trucking industry there are. You know, you just kind of have to think outside the box, and you have to do a little studying to figure out which lane you want to go down. But change your mindset from, oh, there's no money in trucking, there's no opportunity, the game is fixed, to no, yes, it's hard like any other thing, any other field, but there's plenty of opportunity. It wouldn't be a $1 trillion industry if there was no opportunity. There wouldn't be jobs paying 80, 90, 100,000, 120,000 a year if there was no money in the business. These companies wouldn't be able to afford to pay you what they pay you if there was no money in it. So you just have to change your mindset from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And then, okay, once you have your mind right and you understand and you see the opportunities that are out there, now you can actually go and figure out, okay, I see the opportunities, but I gotta narrow down what I'm gonna do. That's the number one thing, is you wanna niche down. You wanna figure out, what sector of trucking am I going to be in? I always talk about that. When you come into trucking, or if you're already in it, but you don't have a plan, figure out, okay, I feel stuck. I feel lost. I have no money. I'm making the same money I made when I first got into trucking. How can I improve, right? Well, maybe you need to specialize in something. Maybe you need to, I don't know, save up to start your own business. You need to figure out what it is you want to do, right? Figure out what division you want to be in. Drive-in, reefer, flatbed, intermodal, car hauling, oversized load, step deck. What do you want to do? Do you need endorsements to do what you want to do? Do you need to save up a bunch of money to buy your own truck and lease onto a company or get your own authority? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to grow a fleet? Everybody's answer to these questions I'm asking is different, right? But you got to get to thinking. That's why I make these videos, is because so many people don't actually think about this. It's amazing. I ask people, hey, what do you want to do with trucking? Oh, I don't know. I just want to drive. There's no goal. And without a goal, without a destination you're trying to reach, right? It's honestly pointless to even get into that field to begin with, in my opinion. So again, come into trucking. What do I want to do with this job? And then it's the financial stuff after that. Once you start making really good money at your job, because everybody's going to start off with a job. They're not going to start off owning a business right away. At least most people. There's some people that come in and they start a business right away in trucking and they do well. But that's like 0.001% of people that get into trucking that do that. 99.99% of you are going to come in and you're going to start out and you're going to drive company for a few years. So if you're going to do that, like I said, figure out what's your long-term plan before you do that, right? And I always use the example of, hey, if you want to do oversized load trucking, then why would you start out at a dry van company? You need to start out at a flatbed company and learn flatbed, and then graduate to step deck, and then heavy haul and oversized load. There's steps, right? You start with where you want to end up. That's the most important thing, and that's how you're going to make the best money too, because you're not only going to start where you want to end up, but you're going to gain that experience, and the more experience you make, the higher pay you can demand and the more money you will make. And then say you want to start a business. Okay, well, if you started out in that niche you want to be in, well, guess what? You're working your company job, you're making good money, hopefully you're saving your money, and eventually after a few years, after getting your experience, racking up some savings, you have enough money to go into the actual business side of that business. And again, I recommend too, while you're driving, while you're doing your job, be listening to books that teach you about business. They teach you about investing. Okay, let's say you don't want to be a owner operator and start a business. Okay, you could be learning about investing in stocks, investing in real estate, investing in a side business while you're on the road, right? Investing in an online business. There's so many different options. Again, remember I started the video out by saying, hey, it starts with your mindset. See, you got to see the opportunities, but you got to pick one and stick with it, right? You got to pick one plan still and stick with it. There's a dozen opportunities, but pick one. Pick one, stick with it, get great at it, and you'll do really well in the long run, right? I picked actually starting a business within the industry. Some people don't want to do that. Again, if you start with the plan, you just got to figure that out, right? So, okay, you get into, you know what you want to do, you're making money, you know whether you want to start a business or not, you know whether you want to invest in other things. Okay, once you do that, you're making really good money, you have your plan in place. I'm going to end the video with this because this applies to everybody: company, owner, operator, own authority, fleet owner, doesn't matter. You need to get out of debt. Use trucking. When you get out of debt, you will have very low costs in your life. You will have low expenses. And when your expenses are low in life because you're out of debt, you can save a lot more money. Because if you specialized and you found your niche and you're making over $100,000 a year, imagine how much money you could save if you have no car payment, no student loan payment, no credit card payments. You have all that money that you're making. I mean, yes, you're always going to have some bills, but whenever you're out of debt, you're freeing up cash flow in your personal life to be able to save up money a lot faster. So let's say the first thing you got to do is use your money to get out of debt. Once you're out of debt completely, then you can start saving up towards whatever it is you're trying to do. I recommend after you're out of debt, have 6 months worth of living expenses in cash saved up for any unforeseen emergencies. It's just an emergency fund in cash. But above that, stop saving your money after that. Above that, start to put a percentage of your income away towards investing. And investing could be various different things, like I talked about. You can learn about investing in stocks. Me personally, I buy a low-cost index fund that tracks the global stock market. And I hold it at market cap weights. That's all I buy. One fund, it buys the entire world stock market at market cap weights. That's what I've been doing the last 5.5 years. And it's done wonders for me. Some people don't want to invest in stocks, or they don't want to buy just an index fund. They want to buy single stocks and try to build their own portfolio. Okay, well, while you're driving, while you're earning money, while you're saving, you could be learning about how to pick your own stocks, learning about index funds. Or you don't want to touch the stock market at all. You can learn about real estate. Investing in real estate's very possible, especially if you're a company driver with good, consistent earnings every year. You will qualify for a loan on rental properties if you have a sizable down payment and you you know, you're making really good money every year and you have that track record of really good income, you know, you will qualify for properties. It's very possible for truck drivers to get into real estate and build a real estate portfolio. I'll tell a quick story. I knew a driver at Millis. He was a regional driver. He was an older guy. He was like 55. He drove for Millis for 30 years, never did anything else. He drove regional out of Cartersville, Georgia. And I talked to this guy and I said, you know, it was just at a terminal, and I was talking to him about, you know, just chit chat, right? We were just talking about stuff and random stuff, and somehow the subject of money came up, and I was telling him about, hey, I invest in index funds. I'm a big, you know, fan of Dave Ramsey and Jack Bogle and all these different people that I learned about money from. And yeah, he goes, well, yeah, you know, I've got 20 paid off rental properties. I'm like, 20 paid off rental properties, really? He's like, yeah, just every year, whenever I started out in trucking, my goal was to buy one rental property every single year and have them all paid off by the time I retire. Well, the guy, long story short, he purchased one rental property every year. And like I said, he owned about 20 rental properties. He drove for, 30 years. I mean, I don't think he bought one every single year, but that was his goal. And he accumulated about 20 properties, and he said 15 of them were paid off. The other 5 weren't yet. He was going to work, another 5 to 10 years and then retire. But he had financial freedom, and he didn't make a lot of money. Like, you got to think, on the regional account at Millis, they didn't make nearly as much as the over-the-road guys, but he was very frugal. He had a plan for what he wanted to do with his money, and he was able to come up with the money, and he had the strategy and everything as to how to go about executing his plan of building a real estate portfolio. And he did that. He had financial freedom at that point. He really did. You know, when I was talking to him, and I don't know how he's doing now. I haven't talked to him again since, but that is a story about how, hey, you can go from nothing. You don't even have to earn a lot of money to build significant wealth. You don't, because really, if you're just smart with your money and you invest it properly and wisely over time and you're consistent, your investments will outgrow your income. The income you're earning from your investments will outgrow your earned income. And you can do that, like I said, if you have the right strategy and plan. But none of this is possible. None of this is possible if you have the mindset of it can't be done. None of it's possible. And I'm talking to all the people that always say negative things on my videos. None of this is possible. If you believe the industry sucks and it's horrible, just get out of it and don't do it, right? That's all you can do, is just do something else if you think it's bad. But I don't believe that. I actually don't just not believe that. I know that not to be true, because I have gone from nothing to a much better place in just 6 years. And I just gave you an example of a guy who went from nothing, drove for 30 years, accumulated 20 rental properties, 15 were paid off, and will probably have the other ones paid off by the time he retires, decides to hang it up. And look, again, you don't want to do any of this stuff. I can't control what people do. All I can do is put the message out on my channel of how to get it done, how to have success with this job. One of the most common jobs in the entire country is being a truck driver. And I can tell you, I'm going to end with this. I can tell you right now that if you have a plan for your career, you have a plan for your money, you will have some level of success. Now, how much success you have will depend on your discipline and your work ethic, right? But you will have at least a good level of success if you have a good plan, strong work ethic, and you stick with that plan for a long enough period of time. That's my video for today. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you for being here. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate you for doing that. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, like the video. If you didn't like the video, dislike it. Either way, it helps grow the channel either way. So yeah, I would appreciate that very much. And make sure you stay tuned for the next video that I post in the future. God bless. Thank you for watching, and peace out.